Arsenal could be closing in on a major breakthrough in the transfer market while fresh contract twists and a surprising winger U-turn are emerging just hours apart. There are personal terms agreement on the table for one central midfielder, a shock development involving a League One superstar and a Brazilian wonderkid who might just be the Gunners' biggest ambition yet. Stay with us because there is a lot to break down today, and one of these updates could completely reshape Arsenal summer. Let's get into it. Here, everything we're covering in today's Arsenal update. Bruno Guimaraes is reportedly closing in on personal terms for a big move to the Emirates, even as he returns to Newcastle preseason group. Bradley Barcola. Future is in serious doubt at PSG, but it is understood Arsenal are no longer in the picture for the France international, and Vinicius Jr. Arsenal dream winger target is currently locked in extension talks with Real Madrid that could determine whether he even available this summer. Three huge stories, one massive question: can Arsenal actually land the players to turn genuine ambition into genuine silverware? Let's break it all down. Let's start with the story generating the most noise around the Emirates right now, Bruno Guimaraes. According to reports, the Newcastle captain has reportedly agreed personal terms on a 5-year contract that would bring him to Arsenal. But here the twist: despite that reported agreement, Guimaraes is expected to return to Newcastle preseason training as normal this week. It understood the Brazilian international is determined to remain fully professional throughout this transfer saga. Sources suggest he has no intention of forcing the issue, refusing to agitate for a move or apply public pressure on his current club, even with a switch reportedly on the table. Now here where it gets interesting from a business perspective, Arsenal are said to have tabled an offer in the region of £77 million for the 28-year-old. That is a serious statement of intent for a central midfielder entering the back half of his prime, but it remains to be seen whether Newcastle will even engage with a number in that range. Reports suggest the Magpies value their captain at a minimum of £3 million, more than what currently on the table. And when you're talking about your club captain, a genuine leader in that dressing room, a few £1,000,000 either way can be the difference between a deal happening in August or dragging deep into the final days of the window. So why do Arsenal want him so badly? Tactically, this makes total sense. Arsenal have long been searching for a genuine ball-winning, ball-progressing midfielder who can dictate tempo from deep, and Guimaraes offers exactly that profile. He mobile, aggressive, out of possession, and comfortable carrying the ball through midfield thirds. The kind of player who could allow Arsenal more advanced midfielders greater freedom higher up the pitch. The likelihood of this deal, right now it sits somewhere between promising and not yet close. Personal terms being agreed is a genuinely significant step, but until the transfer fee gap is closed, this remains very much a live negotiation rather than a done deal. But that is not the only update on the midfield front today. To a name that's been floated around Arsenal business for weeks. Bradley Barcola. It is understood the 23-year-old winger is not currently looking at a move to the Emirates Stadium, despite his long-term future at PSG remaining genuinely uncertain. And it's easy to understand why interest in Barcola has been so intense. He coming off a season that included League One and Champions League glory, followed by a standout World Cup campaign with France. That is about as complete a resume as any young winger in Europe could hope to build in 12 months. But according to reports, it's Liverpool, not Arsenal, who are currently viewed as the front-runners to secure his signature should PSG decide to sanction a sale this summer. For Arsenal fans hoping this could be the marquee, wide-attacking edition of the summer, this is a story to watch, but perhaps not one to bank on. And that brings us to the biggest name on this list, the player who represents Arsenal's most ambitious pursuit of the entire window. Could this change everything for Arsenal attack? Vinicius Jr. remains, according to reports, Arsenal's top target on the wing this summer, as the club looks to significantly bolster its attacking options heading into the 2026/27 season. Let's be honest, signing a player of Vinicius' caliber would represent one of the most eye-catching statements Arsenal could possibly make in the transfer market. But here the complicating factor. It is understood that the Brazilian representatives are currently holding contract extension talks with Real Madrid. And Madrid, as you'd expect, are described as desperate to tie down one of their most electric performers to a new long-term deal. From a tactical perspective, it's not hard to see why Arsenal are so keen. A direct, explosive one-on-one threat like Vinicius would completely transform the way defenses have to approach facing this Arsenal side. He offers pace in behind, unpredictability in the final third, and a genuine goal threat from wide areas, exactly the kind of X factor that separates title challengers from title winners. But the honest truth right now is this: until those Real Madrid extension talks are resolved one way or the other, this remains speculative at best. If Madrid tie him down, this story likely ends before it truly begins, but if there's any hesitation on Vinicius' side about that new deal, Arsenal will undoubtedly be watching very, very closely, and that a situation worth monitoring all summer long. So let's talk about what all of this actually means for Arsenal approach heading into next season. If Guimaraes arrives, it fundamentally strengthens Arsenal midfield control, giving them a genuine ball winner who can also progress possession under pressure, something that's been missing at times in the biggest fixtures. The wide areas are where things get more complicated. Missing out on Barcola stings a little purely because of the level he just shown on the biggest stages. But losing out on one target doesn't mean the ambition disappears. It simply means attention shifts elsewhere. And right now, all eyes remain on Vinicius. If Arsenal can somehow find a way to complete a deal of that magnitude, it would represent a genuine changing of the guard in terms of the club transfer ambition. But if, as seems more likely at this stage, Real Madrid secure his signature on a new deal, Arsenal recruitment team will need an alternative plan on the right or left flank. Manager strategy here appears clear: build defensive solidity and midfield control first, through moves like Guimaraes, then layer in attacking firepower as the picture becomes clearer on players like Vinicius and other wide targets. It a patient, structured approach, not flashy headline chasing, but calculated squad building. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think Arsenal should go all in and try to prize Vinicius Jr. away from Real Madrid this summer? Or is that pursuit simply not realistic given the contract talks already underway and on Bruno Guimaraes £77 million? Is that a fair valuation for a 28-year-old captain, or should Arsenal be prepared to go even higher to get this over the line? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Who do you think Arsenal actually signed before deadline day? So to recap, Bruno Guimaraes has reportedly agreed personal terms, but Newcastle valuation remains a genuine sticking point. Bradley Barcola looks set for a League One exit, but Liverpool, not Arsenal, appear to be leading that race. And Vinicius Jr. remains the dream target, entirely dependent on how his Real Madrid extension talks unfold. There is still so much to happen this summer, and we will be tracking every single twist as it develops. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an Arsenal update. Drop a like if you're excited about where this squad is heading, and let us know in the comments who you think Arsenal land. Thanks for watching.